Hello everybody, my name is Jason. This is a video analysis on Marin versus Docs. We have Diddy Kong versus Wolf, and we're going to be focusing on Diddy Kong today. And in specific, what we're going to be focusing on is we're going to be focusing on the banana and how an item affects the neutral game, the different kinds of options that you have with or without an item in hand, how it affects your like shield pressure, and just different ways that you think about the game when you have a banana on the field. A banana is an item, which is a very interesting concept in Smash. In Melee, the only items were Peach's turnips and Link's bombs, which were very difficult to catch, and they definitely did not really control stage in the way that Diddy Kong's banana does. Diddy Kong's banana, or maybe Snake's grenades or other things, are very PM exclusive sort of items, right? They're not projectiles, they're items. So how does an item differ from a projectile, and how does this affect the neutral? Let's take a look at that, and let's take a look at good use of item play and bad use of item play. We're going to start off this match with bad item play, right? Or bad item not play, I guess. Because if you look at Docs, Docs has the banana this entire time, but it's actually hindering him. He's better off if he didn't have the banana. He's forced to do all of these really bad options he can't approach as quickly because of the fact that he has a banana in his hand, right? And that's something that's very important to note about. Let me find a good spot for it. Right here. You have different neutral game options when you have a banana. And that means they're not better and they're not worse. They're different. So the big thing is that when you have an item, you cannot do an aerial. The quickest way to do an aerial is to Z-drop and then aerial, but that's kind of very technical and a lot of people don't think about that. So when Docs is here, and we're shooting at 30 frames a second in this video, so it'll be a little tough to see these things, but here's a peanut. The peanut is coming at him this way, right? And Docs is kind of jumping up here, right? This is the trajectory of his jump. If you're a wolf, what beats this peanut? The answer would be, you could nair it, right? If you do a short hop nair, you have the hitboxes out, you can break the peanut, and you can continue your approach and maybe dash in afterwards. Diddy Kong's in a little bit of end lag, maybe he'll waveland forward, which if he does, then you have some options here. If he wavelines backwards, you take some stage. That's what happens when you don't have a banana. The fact is, though, that Docs has one. And not only does he have one, he is thinking about how to use it. That's when you have a banana in your hand, that's something that you are thinking about. How do I use this? How do I keep it? Because if I have this, that means that my opponent doesn't. If I have this, that means I have access to all the options that an item has. And obviously, Docs wants to do one of two things. He wants to either AGT it so that he can get a little bit of, scuffle around in the air somewhere while throwing out a hitbox this way, right? Or he wants to just glide toss it on the ground or throw it or something. In any case, all roads lead, here's the peanut again, all roads lead to you throwing the banana. You have to throw the banana when you have a banana in your hand, right? You can throw it forward at different heights, you can throw it up, you can throw it back, you can throw it at your feet by glide tossing, whatever. But these are all forced to if you press the A button, you're going to throw the banana. There's no way you're going to get around that, right? So Docs does what a player who kind of tunnel visions his head into the item game thinks. He's like, oh, I want to keep this banana in my hand. If I press A, I lose the banana. Let's press B. Let's do these blasters, right? So I can keep this banana in my hand as long as possible. But that's not a good option. A blaster does not beat a peanut. And pretty much the tunnel visioning of when you should and shouldn't use a banana is controlling that mentality. And this is kind of a common theme that I want to bring up throughout the rest of the match. Do these players use items correctly? And is that something that they're even thinking of? Maybe they should not use an item, right? Here we go. Let's talk more about Marin and how he uses it. this is an example here, right? We are in shield and we're going to glide toss, right? Obviously, you want to glide toss the banana forward to get a trip, maybe and it's okay to glide toss backwards. But what you want to do is this is your shield. You want the banana to go this way, but you want your Diddy Kong to move backwards, right? It creates space. Maybe it causes him to trip. It gives you center stage, and then you can come back in afterwards, right? If it whiffs, if it hits his shield, then you're safe. There are a lot of things in which this comes out on top because you were in shield. Then you can use the banana, right? Let's talk about if you didn't have a banana, what would your options be here? You can't grab him. Your Nair out of shield won't hit. You can roll and spot dodge, and that's it. And these are all defensive options without any hitboxes. This is your only hitbox here. Everything else is just some sort of defensive dodge. That's how having an item is good in this situation over not having one at all. So Marin tech flubs, I assume. Otherwise, he decides to glide toss the banana backwards for some reason. And this, in and of itself, is harmless, right? Dox is there, your center stage, and your banana's on the other side of the stage. Whatever. This is pretty decent. You have quote-unquote center stage. And you can still corner pressure Dox. The problem, though, is, are you thinking about that? Or are you thinking about the banana? This very over-centralizing idea in your head. And Marin is like, wait a second, I threw a banana. I want to get it, right? Sort of disregarding traditional good smash in favor of being able to be at quote-unquote an advantage with banana in hand. And what does he do? He puts himself in the corner, and Dox takes center stage now. Dox has center stage only because Marin didn't prioritize correctly. The thing about items is that it's very subtle. Is it better? Is it not better? There's a lot of cost-benefit analysis, like risk-reward going on. It's not always better to have it, so it shouldn't be that you should always go for the banana in every situation. And you can see that Marin, in that situation, kind of lost the opportunity to corner pressure Dox and gives him center stage. That's, in my opinion, something that you should think about a lot. Are the actions that I'm doing affecting my character and affecting my neutral game? He's taking a little bit of damage here. Dox does this really dumb up B. Let's look how dumb it is. Nice. Why would you ever do that? And he dies. Nice. So, back to the banana, right? This is another thing that's kind of people get tunnel visioned again. When you have a banana, you don't have to always do the item-based move, right? He's jabbing your shield. Jab down smash is very common. So what would happen is Marin, seeing this, wants to, right, glide toss the banana into him, trip him, same maneuver, get out of there, right? That creates space, that trips, that gets you out of down smash range, which is about this much, maybe. And that's a good idea. At the same time, it's kind of risky because the difference is that a glide toss doesn't have any invincibility. What you can do, and what most people would do, well, not most people, but a decent decision is to just roll. You can just roll, that's fine. Get center stage. If he down smashes, maybe you get hit by the second hit. Or if you time it weird, maybe it won't. I'm not too sure. You could spot dodge, obviously, and you could jump out of shield still. All these options are still available to you. The only thing you lose is grab, actually. You can't grab because pressing A will release the little item. But all this is still here. You can still jump, still spot dodge, still roll. If you want to roll to corner, that's fine too. These are fine. These are good because they have invincibility. Rolls, spot dodge, invincibility. But does Marin think about that? Does he ever, when you have a banana in your shield, it's very easy to get tunnel visioned into thinking, hey, let's glide toss because that's really good and I can only glide toss when I have an item, right? So let's do it. Let's frame advance and see that he gets hit by it, right? And that's going to lead to his death. That sort of trigger happiness with using the item, oh man, I really want to use it, it's so fun, right? Doc, same thing. He has the banana right there. It's a little better here because Marin isn't using any options that Docs would want to use his hitboxes through, right? Whiffs that grab. Then we have lasers. These lasers are fine. You know, throw a banana out, pick it up. A little bit of glide tossing. And this is sort of how do you say? It's the burden of the Diddy Kong player to be better with items than his opponent. That's just my opinion. If you play a character like Diddy Kong, the banana is only in your advantage if you are better at using items than your opponent is. If you understand how it works better than they do. Otherwise, when you pull out a banana, you're pretty much giving your opponent an advantage, right? It comes out close to you, but once it's on the field, your opponent picks it up, and if they can use it better than you, then that's bad news. When you're a Diddy Kong player, you want to work on that so that like the item that you pull doesn't become your worst nightmare, right? This is a little awkward, but still, knowing that this banana is back behind him, and Marin rolls. He rolls into the banana and gets tripped. That's like showing lack of awareness of where that banana is. This get up attack also, Diddy Kong's roll is goes about the same distance as his banana, so you aren't out of the woods there, right? Be very familiar with your item if you're going to use it. And Marin does like to use it. He does pull out a lot of bananas. And there's other stuff to talk about, but let's just I really do think that the item is the most important part of what I think is interesting about this game. And we have to think about it also. Like, is Marin using the banana in a creative way? I think that all he's doing, or at least a lot of what he's doing, is sort of glide tossing it back and forth, trying to set up shield pressure and stuff. But you could do it for other things. You could use it to zone very creatively. But, just stuff like this. And Docs is kind of on, he just shot a blaster randomly. But you'll see later on in the game that Docs knows, and it's very telegraphed when Marin goes for these glide toss things. We'll mention it later. But yeah, this is kind of what Marin does. He pulls out a banana so he could throw it at you, right? Like, if this was a really good Diddy Kong, like someone who had a lot of understanding of the stage control aspect of the banana, right? Let's go through this scenario. It would be like here it is. Okay, we have a banana here. This zones. This banana, the fact that it's right here, means that the opponent has to jump over it. They have to. They're forced into this trajectory. They're in shield right now. They can't roll through. They have to jump. So instead of going forward and trying to attack the shield, which is what Marin does, a Diddy Kong who is very stage control focused, you see this banana here, they're gonna wait out here. They're gonna wait out here, and they're gonna either think that you're gonna wave dash in to grab the banana, which they can stuff, right? Wave dash is for Wolf, I guess, a 13 frame commitment, or they see you jumping over, and they can put a forward air here to kind of get around that, sneak under or something. But a lot of what happens can happen in response to this banana. You know that you have the advantage right now. The banana belongs to you. So they're forced into several bad options, right? They're either stuck in the corner, they have to trip, they have to waveland over it in order to, this is a 13 frame commit, or they have to jump up. They have way less options. They can't attack you. If you're standing right here, they can't do anything to you yet. They have to get around this banana, and a good Diddy Kong player will let that advantage speak for itself as opposed to doing what Marin does here, right? First off, this peanut gun is really random, but he is not waiting for the opponent to interact with the banana. He is using the banana literally as just something to throw at him, where it has so much more utility than that. Okay, we're going to grab this banana again, and what's going to happen? Yep, glide tossing. And this is what I'm talking about when I say it's very telegraphed. When Marin is in shield and he has an item, what do you think he's going to do? He's going to glide toss. And sure enough, that's what he does. Glide toss, down smash. Fine, that's great. But When you pick it up right now, and again, you're in shield, what do you think Dox is going to think? You know, if he's been paying attention, he's like, wait a second, this Diddy Kong is like in shield, and he's been throwing a banana at me. He's probably going to want to do it again, right? So, shine. He shines, gets reflected, and that's like, you know, a call out, sort of. Again, right? Picks up the banana, and what has Marin been doing? He's always just been throwing it. Let's shield. And it's actually not that bad because I think that Marin gets a grab, right? But it's like sort of, he can tell that banana's not really doing anything anymore, you know? It's not really serving a huge purpose. And this is a very interesting one. It happened on accident, but this is something to think about. This is another way to use the banana, right? Dox is going to grab it, and he's going to throw this banana. And this is the banana being acting as stage control in a different way. Diddy Kong is right here, and Diddy Kong has to fall down, right? Aerial drift means that the envelope of his trajectory is kind of all the way through here. He can fall anywhere here. The banana is right here right now, right? Let's draw a little banana circle. Marin can't do anything. He like pretty much has to waveland, right? He has to waveland in order to pick it up. But if he's in an aerial animation already, then that banana is going to trip him no matter what he does. And you can use the banana in that way as well to cover landings. I'm falling, I fall on the banana, then I'm going to go into trip, and then that's a tech chase situation for Dox, who's over here. You can cover it with different things, force him to tech out, right? Then he gets a lot of stage that he can wall Marin out of. That's one great use of the banana, in my opinion, is to, and like right here, right, Marin doesn't really waveland, so then Dox can get that down smash, which is nice. Again, look at this. Oops, he's in shield. Like, it's also important to sort of play Diddy Kong as a traditional character sometimes, instead of like this sort of item focused thing. Diddy Kong's shield with the banana is a very good option. You know, you can do a lot of things that a lot of other characters can't. So being in shield isn't that bad, but at the same time, it means that it's still not the best thing to do. You could still be dash dancing with a banana. Like Junebug dash dances with a banana all the time and doesn't really go into shield as much unless he's instantly glide tossing. You see how much time Marin spends in his shield right here. Like he is setting up a glide toss. You don't have to set up a glide toss. You can still be moving while having possession of the banana, right? Like look at this. Like what is this? What is he doing there? You know, like he is very clearly showing his hand. And again, like Dox is the same thing. Oh. He shines it because he knows. Like look at him. Like, is this how you play neutral? Probably not. Like you're looking for a specific thing. You're looking for a banana into smash attack or something. And the more telegraphed and the more obvious your approaches are, the worse you're gonna be able to deal with things because people are gonna be able to know what you're doing. After this is pretty much gonna be the end of the game. I think there might be a couple other things, but as far as talking about items goes, that's the end of that. I hope you all let's look at this. Yeah, nothing too much. You see, he always picks up the banana immediately afterwards. He doesn't use it for stage positioning, which I think is the next step for Marin in this case. But hopefully you all enjoyed that video. Hopefully you all learned a little bit about the different ways you can use items and like are more mindful about them instead of just trying to pick them up and throw them or try to like be fancy and technical with them. You don't have to be, and sometimes it's better if you're not. So until next time, thank you very much, and we'll see you later.